morning, students. Today I shall begin with the great marvel of English literature, William Shakespeare. William Shakespeare was a poet, an actor, and widely regarded as the greatest dramatist of the world. He is often called the Bard of Avon. In English literature, the writings of Shakespeare are of the second most quoted after the Bible. All that glitters is not gold.
All that glistens is not gold.
Cowards die many times before their death.
Cowards die many times before their deaths. The valiant never taste of death but once.
Uneasy lies the head that wears the crown. There is neither good or bad, but thinking makes it so. Love looks not with the eyes, but with the mind.
Love looks not with the eyes, but with the mind, and therefore is winged Cupid painted blind.
We think all these proverbs are coming from the time immemorial. But all these proverbial sentences are actually uttered by different characters in different plays written by Shakespeare. You will be surprised to know that Shakespeare wrote his famous plays like Macbeth, Hamlet, Twelfth Night, As You Like It, King Lear, just to earn bread and butter, not to create mere art. Similar to our present COVID-19 pandemic, a severe outbreak of plague occurred in London towards the end of 16th century. Authorities ordered all the residents to remain indoors, resulting 14 weeks complete shutdown in all theatre halls, particularly in London. Shakespeare was then 29, a complete man of theatre. However, his creative genius could not be shackled. He began to write poems. Out of these poems, he wrote 154 legendary sonnets. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day is number 18 of this sonnet series. Generally, sonnet is a love poem. In the hands of Shakespeare, the sonnet has undergone many changes both in form and in theme. Shakespearean sonnet may be divided mainly in two groups. One is fair youth sonnet and another one is dark lady sonnet. This poem is belong to fair youth category. Like is sonnet, it is also a love poem, but here this love is addressed to a handsome young man instead of a beautiful girl. Here, Shakespeare captures the beauty of a young person in the form of a poem. Now, the question is who is this fair youth? What is his identity? Actually, the identity of the fair youth remains a mystery. As the sonnets are dedicated to W.H., some say he was William Herbert, the Earl of Pembroke. Modern critics are of the opinion that W.H. means William himself, that is, Shakespeare himself. Each sonnet consists of 14 lines. In P.K.M sonnet, it has two distinctive parts. One is octave, which is of 8 lines, and another is sestet of 6 lines. There are 14 lines in Shakespearean sonnet 2. It is of iambic pentameter, but the first 12 lines are divided into 3 quatrains with 4 lines each, followed by a 2 lines rhyming couplet. Let's read Sonnet 18. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling birds of May, and summer's leaves hath all too short a date. Sometime too hot the eye of heaven shines, and often is his gold complexion dimmed. And every fair from fair sometimes declines, by chance or nature's changing course untrimmed. But thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou erst. Nor shall death brag thou wanderest in his shade, when in eternal lines to time thou growest. So long as man can breathe or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. The poet begins the sonnet by asking the handsome youth whether he should compare thee or him to a summer's day. In the very next line, he announces that his friend is more lovely and even more tempered. He then runs off a list of reasons why summer is not all that great. Rough winds shake the birds that emerged in spring. Summer ends too quickly, especially in England. During summer, the sun can get too hot or be obscured by clouds. The poet goes on saying that every beautiful thing eventually fades or by nature's inevitable changes. Coming back to the handsome young man, the poet argues that his beloved's summer won't go away. He will never die because by writing this poem about him, the poet has immortalized him. He concludes that so long as human exists and can see the poem, here it means can read the poem, the youth's beauty will be remembered and thus live forever. Now, literal Bengali meanings of some words. First of all, we may take the words like thee, thou, thy, art, hath. You know, all these are archaic words. Thou means to me, thy means তোমার, দি অর্থাৎ তুমি বা তোমাকে, hath means have, art means are. These words nowadays are being used only in poetry. Temperate means marjito, sober. Lease means মেয়াদ বা duration. Complexion গায়ের চামড়ার রং. Untrimmed নিরবচ্ছিন্ন. Brag বড়াই করা, boast করা. Eternal চিরকালীন বা শাশ্বত. Now, questions and answers. First question: what shakes the darling boughs of May? The answer is the darling boughs of May are shaken by rough winds during summer. The next question is a quote: but the eternal summer shall not fade. What does the word summer refer to here? Here, summer refers to the youth and beauty of the poet's friend. Number 3, what is meant by summer's lease? The answer should be the expression summer's lease means the span or duration of summer. Next question: how is the gold complexion of the sun dimmed? The answer is the gold complexion of sun is dimmed whenever it is covered by the clouds. Fifth question: what does the eye of heaven refer to? The answer should be the eye of heaven refers to the sun. And then, what will make the beauty of the poet's friend eternal? The answer is the verse composed by Shakespeare will make the beauty of his friend eternal. Okay?
সাধনা একবার ধরতে পেলে মনের মানুষ ছেড়ে যেতে আর দিও না ধরতে পেলে মনের মানুষ ছেড়ে যেতে আর দিও না দেখেছি দেখেছি রূপসাগরে মনের মানুষ কাঁচা সোনা দেখেছি রূপসাগরে মনের মানুষ কাঁচা সোনা
We may sum up Sonnet 18 as one of the greatest love poems in English literature. In the first quatrain, the poet establishes the simile, that is, the young man's superiority. In the second quatrain, that means in the very next 4 lines, the poet considers the changing face of summer. In the third, the poet bestows unseen ability to the young man through his poetry. In the final couplet, that is in last 2 lines, the poet underlines the eternal beauty of the young man when it becomes inscribed in his poetry.
So long as men can breathe or eyes can see, so long lives this and this gives life to thee. So long as men can breathe or eyes can see, so long lives this and this gives life to thee.